Hey everyone, this is Stefan from Lush and Salty Aquariums. I hope you're handling the crisis out in the real world with some grace. I know I'm trying to, and I know that keeping aquariums helps me maintain my serenity. We can assert some modicum of control over our creatures, keeping them healthy and fit, and that makes us feel good in return. Ironically, this report is on a tank that had a problem, a coronavirus of its own. Actually, it was a fish kill of all my Celestial Pearl Danios on account of a lack of oxygen in the water after I dechlorinated and did a water change. I've discussed that at some length in previous videos, but it can happen when you do a significant water change and use the dechlor. I should have ran an air stone, that would have saved everything, but onwards and upwards. I let the tank cycle, cleaned out all the media in the small hang-on back filter, you see there. Did another water change, made sure it was a-okay, and then finally I added a new colony of Celestial Pearl Danios, and you can see them there. They will join the one adult that's still in there that survived from before, and they will color up nicely, becoming more and more like what I consider to be brook trout. They look just like beautiful cold water brook trout, but they're not. They're Celestial Pearl Danios. And this tank will be their home. As I've reported before, I've got clover. This is an easy growing plant. It can float as well as root into the ground, although it's fragile in that capacity. There's an Autosynclus, one of the best algae eaters, doing his job right now on a Anubias leaf. I've got Anubias petite as well. I love this plant. It's one of my faves. A big fat colony right in the center there. Cerio stone is the gray and white stone, very popular in aquascaping. There's a nearite snail, another great algae eater, beautiful coloration too. And they do not reproduce in fresh water, so a good thing to know when you want snails. Otherwise, you're gonna get a lot of these guys, ram's horns, which are fine. They just can look a little unsightly. There you see a bunch of them, as well as some more cherry shrimp. Now, once these CPDs, or Galaxy Rasboras, or Celestial Pearl Danios, those are three names they go by, if they start reproducing, they'll scatter their eggs, and they like to scatter in moss. And so I have some Wassertang, which is not really a moss, but it's like that. You see the green clump in the back, as well as some Christmas moss up here, a nice healthy group. That's where if they do mate, they will deposit eggs there, and the male will lure the female in. They'll do their business, and eggs will be left. I won't do anything to try and rear them the way pros do, which means I would have to take them out and put them in their own tank, etc. I'm not going to do that, but there's always a good chance that a few will come to fruition on their own and not get eaten, especially if there's no tank mates of consequence in this aquarium. There are not, so CPDs are not, it's not amazing, what do you call it, predators of their own young. It can happen because the fry are so teeny tiny, but either way, I'm glad to have another colony in this tank. I'm glad to see everybody's happy. Water's crystal clear, and I have very little algae, which delights me because I do not run CO2 in this tank, and that's one of my main components to battling algae. But for whatever reason, I don't have it in this tank, and I don't have algae either, so I'm blessed. That could be because of the cleanup crew, because I have a lot of plants, which is one of my tricks to maintaining low algae, a ton of plants. I do let algae grow on the back. You see those spots? So the otocinclus and other fish can nibble on it. I think CPDs, these guys, will eat that. They're omnivores, so I think they will eat some algae if it suits them. In any event, try to stay sane in the coming days and weeks. And let's have some fun with our tanks, some grace and serenity. Ciao for now. Always keep your hands in the tank.